In this video, I'm going to cover layering and splits in the new MPC 2.11 update. Check it out! So if you look in front of me, I have my Akai Professional MPC Live 2 with a USB MIDI controller connected to it. So what I want to do is go into the sound page and cover layering and splits. So let's go ahead and tap plugin right there and then tap sounds. This takes us over to the sounds page. This is new in MPC 2.11. And right here we have something called key ranges. If we tap that, it takes us over to this screen right here. Now this screen is the key ranges screen, but it gives us the ability to do layering and splits. So if you look at the top, we have our tracks, okay? And then right here we have our presets. And then underneath here we have a keyboard. Okay, so this represents all the different keys on a keyboard. And then underneath that, we have our tracks. Right now, there's only one track in this particular project, but we can add new tracks. So if you tap this key right here, it's going to add a new track of our choosing. So we can choose drum, key group, plugin, MIDI, or CV. So let's go ahead and pick plugin. So now track 1 has a plugin on it. All right, so we got that new plugin right there on track 1, and we can play that with our MIDI keyboard. Now, underneath our keyboard on the screen here, we got a blue indicator here, and this indicates the region of the keyboard that this track will actually be triggered from our MIDI keyboard. So right now we have it all the way across, and that's fine. So let's cover something called layering. So right now we only have one track. We can add a second track to this by pressing new track, and then we can pick between these again. Let's go ahead and just do plugin. So now we have two different tracks. Now each one of these tracks has the same preset on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and change this preset. Okay, so now on track 1 we have the rich swell preset. Track 2 has the static super saw preset. Now if we want to, we can actually play these at the same time. So if we press shift in this little circle right here, this little record arm button, we can arm multiple tracks at once. So right now I have track 1 armed and track 2 armed. So if I play a key, we're actually playing two different tracks at once. That might not be too obvious because one track is louder than the other, it does sound like. So let's pick something else here. We got smooth and tight. So if you look over here, we can press this eyeball and we can get our channel mixer here. So we can change the volume of this particular plugin as well. So if I turn this one down, I'm turning down track 2, we can hear track 1. If I turn up track 2, we can start to hear that smooth and tight preset. So you can hear we got layering going on. So we could pick something else. So as you can hear, we have two sounds going on at the same time, and we can adjust the volume of each of those sounds so we can get the appropriate sound that we want. And we can keep layering if we do want to. Now the next thing I want to show you is actually splits. So right now we have our regions set all the way across here. So this blue area is going all the way across that keyboard, but we can actually set track 1 to be only a part of the keyboard, and in track 2 to be a different part of the keyboard. And if we want, if we get confused where we're at on our keyboard, we can actually use learn min and learn max to go ahead and set these values. So let's go ahead and pick track 1 right here and then press learn min. Once we press learn min, we can press a key And that's going to be the lowest key that track is going to be able to be played on your keyboard. And if we want to do learn max, we can set our maximum key as well. And we can do this for each one of our tracks. So if I want to do learn min right here, and then press learn max, and then set the maximum value. Okay, and then unselect that. So now, on the bottom part of my keyboard, and then on the top half of the keyboard, I have this other preset. So if I push shift and record arm, I'm going to be able to play that. So if you listen, I'm able to play both of the sounds at the same time, but in different regions on the keyboard. And you can keep going with this if you do want to. So if I wanted to add another track on here, let's say I wanted to add a bass track, I can go ahead and push new track, go ahead and go to my plugin, and then what I would do is just select a bass line, the bass line plugin, and then pick whichever one I want. Like if I want a sub bass, I can go ahead and pick that. Then I can go back to my key ranges and set this. So let's go ahead and press shift and go ahead and arm the rest of the tracks there. Now you can hear there's actually 3 different sounds on my keyboard now. And this is going to be really good for live performance. You can see if I had a bigger keyboard, I could put even more sounds on here and be able to play more. If I wanted to put a drum split on here, I could do that as well. I can tap drum split. Okay, so if you look on the screen here, there's a button that says drum split. If I press that, I need to actually create a drum program track. So that's what that's telling me there. So what I do is go to new track and then press drum right there. Now I have a drum track. And then once I have my drum track on there, I do need to actually assign something to that. It's just going to put an empty program on there. So what I would do is go to my sounds, and then I would pick one of these particular kits, whichever one I wanted to. And it's going to put that on a track for me. Now, another thing that you can do from this page is actually mute your tracks with your pads. So you got these 3 pads right here that are actually colored, and they actually represent these 3 tracks. So you can actually mute the tracks right there. And that's also indicated right here. So right there, you can mute your tracks, or you can solo your tracks as well. So if you wanted to solo the track that you were on, you just press solo right there, and it's going to solo it. All right, so there you go. That covers the entire key range page in the new MPC 2.11 update. If you want to see more videos about this particular update, click or tap the screen right there. It's going to take you to those videos. If you have a question, please ask in the comments. I'm going to try to make a series for this update, so do ask your questions. I appreciate you for watching and continue to create music. We'll talk soon.